So I was having a conversation the other day in my DMs because this girl had DM'd me and she was basically trying to ask me how to switch into a body recomposition because previously she focused on general weight loss. And if you know me at all, you know we are anti-general weight loss. We want to focus on recompositioning our body so we can have our dream physique and not just be a skinny fat version of what we already are. But that's besides the point. What I really want to talk about is how when I asked her what her goal was, it wasn't, I want to lose 30 pounds. It wasn't some physical feature that she wants or, her physique changing or anything like that. All she said was that she wants to be more consistent and she wants to feel disciplined. And oftentimes when I ask people that question, they hit me with those physical goals. And when she said that, I started thinking about what makes people inconsistent and not disciplined. So what takes people off track? Why can't they reach their goals? And I was able to find one difference between the people that make progress and the people who do not. So in today's video, I'm going to break that down for you on my computer. I've built out a whole chart using myself as an example for both scenarios so that you can really understand how I was feeling, why I was doing the things that I did, so that if you're struggling with this, maybe you're going through a tough time and you don't know how to get through it, I'm gonna help you get through all that stuff in this video so you can see what really differentiates someone who makes progress versus someone who doesn't. Especially if you're not making progress, this video will help you figure out what it is that you're doing wrong. So I'm gonna send you over my computer now and I will break it all down for you. So I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of break this down for you guys. Now, if you clicked on this video, you're probably feeling overwhelmed. And every day, or maybe on a week-to-week basis, things keep going wrong. And so those things are happening to you and you're feeling like stuck and you're wondering, how am I going to be able to transform, lose fat, build muscle, build my dream physique, and get myself out of this tough situation when I feel so overwhelmed? And I'm pretty much going to break down from a very logical viewpoint how you can do this and always be able to move through these tough emotions or these tough times in life, because life will never let up. Like, it will never get easier. You're never going to reach a point where you're like, all right, I'm cruising. I can just coast now. Like, it's chill. You will never, ever reach that point. And if you keep searching for that point, you're in for a not so good surprise, because it's not going to be there. All you can do is get stronger and allow yourself to get better at handling those things. And then eventually you might feel to some degree that you are at that point just because you became a strong person. So in order to kind of break this down, let's look at this equation here. So we're actually going to start here with the sum. Now, the sum is probably where you're currently at right now. So this is the result. Maybe you're unhappy with your physique, maybe your life, your mindset, a culmination of things, and you're feeling stuck, frustrated, lost, hopeless. Maybe you feel like your back's against the wall or overwhelmed by how much you have to do to have the body, the life, the mindset that you want, that it almost makes you feel paralyzed in starting, so you just put it off. Now, in order to change this result, we need to first understand what is getting us here. So now let's look on the other side of the equal sign. So this result is essentially the sum of a reason paired with an action leading for you to have the body, the life, and the mind that you want. If you want a different result, you have to change the action. How do we change the action? Well, we first need to look at the reasoning behind why we're doing said action. So I'll give you an example. Let's say you took a glance in the mirror and you're trying on some clothes because you're about to go out to an event, or maybe you're going out with your friends and you want to look good, right? You look in the mirror and you just genuinely hate how the clothes look on you. Or maybe you can see your arms and they're a little bit fatter than they were before. Or maybe you don't like the way that your stomach looks in the shirt. Whatever it is. And trust me, I'm not trying to be insensitive. I've been there. I've looked in the mirror and quite literally had tears welling up in my eyes and felt so upset with myself. So I have been there, and I'm just saying it to be real with you and to be open and honest. Now, let's say that you look in the mirror and you feel that way. And you start feeling this immense insecurity in yourself. And you don't really know what it is. You just know that you don't like it and you're upset about it. And so that leads for you to then take an action. And typically the action that follows this is some kind of self-sabotaging action, because they want to numb the pain that they felt when they were looking in the mirror, right? So let's say you look in the mirror, you feel that, and you go out and you are feeling all that insecurity and you're just trying to feel better instantly. So you go out with your friends and you eat something way off plan, or you eat way too much. And I'm not saying that eating off plan or eating a lot of food is a bad thing, but you know deep down that you're doing it to cope with the insecurity that you felt when you were looking in the mirror. And so you go and you want to have fun, you want to let loose, you want to feel better, so you start eating a bunch of food. And then maybe on top of that, you pair it with some drinks. You have a few beers, you have a few ranch waters, some vodka sodas, whatever it is that you drink. And then maybe you do something else to try to numb the pain. You keep chasing all these things because you don't want to experience your reality. And then that equals the result. So you're unhappy with your mindset because you're feeling this pain. You're masking it with external things or instant gratification that make you feel better right away. And then those are excess calories. It's not good for recovery. It's not good for your health. It's not good in terms of building an athletic, lean, toned physique. So now your physique is not where you want it to be. Every time you look in the mirror, you're experiencing feelings of overwhelming disappointment and also a dislike towards what you're seeing in the mirror in terms of your body composition. And you're also upset with your mindset. And so now you feel stuck, frustrated, and lost because that insecurity that you were trying to run from so damn bad is still there. In fact, the position that you were in the night before is just a little bit worse because you had one more day of digging yourself into a deeper hole. And so when life gets tough and we feel these overwhelming things, the average person will try to make it better with some action that's usually instant gratification that soothes them in the moment. But then reality hits, whether it be a few seconds or a few hours later, and you're actually deeper in the hole that you were trying to get out of and that you're almost feeling all this pain and suffering because you're stuck in there. And so understanding how this works will actually help us solve problems better. And I just want to state that life will never get easier. Like, you will consistently feel insecurity, you'll feel self-doubt, you'll feel frustration, you'll feel a culmination of some of the toughest emotions that the human being has to experience. But what we are going to do is figure out how to let that be fuel on this journey. How to not only make ourselves feel better so it's not a roadblock in the way of where we're trying to go, but then also use that pain and that suffering to actually yield more growth. So give us a better mindset, give us a better physique, give us better circumstances. And when you have the ability to do that, that's when adversity and problems and stress and difficulty and hardship, those things literally don't get in your way. Because the idea is not to make life easier. And when you look at other people and you're just like, oh, well, it's easier for them and they aren't going through anything hard, that's why they're there and I'm not. I promise you, every single person on planet fucking Earth is going through something that is slowing them down. And I can guarantee that because the biggest obstacle in your journey, in my journey, in everyone's fucking journey is themselves. And if they have a life, they're an obstacle. That's just how it works. And I'm here to tell you that the people that have what you want, maybe the physique, maybe the mindsets, maybe the circumstances or the life, aren't there because they just don't go through things. Like, they don't feel the insecurity, they don't feel the self-doubt, they don't feel the frustration. They just use it as fuel. They react to it differently. That's why they have that result and you don't. And I'm saying this because I used to be in that state. I used to look at other people and be like, oh, well, they're not as busy as me, or they have easier opportunities, or they have like an easier life. No, we both faced hardship. I sat there, cowered down, got scared, binge ate, drank, went out with my friends, didn't pay attention to what I needed to do because I just wanted to feel good in the moment. And I didn't want to actually have to dig myself out of the hole because that was hard and I avoided hard things. And so I would look at other people who were able to do the hard things, who were able to face their insecurities, who were able to use that as fuel to move them forward. And I would just be like, oh, they're just not going through anything. And it's just hard for me because I'm going through a tough time and they have an easy life. No, they reacted differently, which led for them to have a different result. And so if there's anything that I can tell you, life isn't going to get easier. You in this video are going to learn how to react differently so that nothing ever stops you and nothing ever gets in your way. Now, let's really dive into how do we do that? Like, how do we fix it? So in order to change the result, we need to change the things on the other side of the equal sign, right? So let's really get down to it and break it down. I'm going to kind of show you this from my standpoint so you can kind of see a story behind it rather than just me telling you information. This is not the way to do it, right? So this is the way that I just explained that maybe you're currently here or this is what you're doing and you can't figure out how to get out of it and you're feeling overwhelmed. So this is me here feeling upset, insecure, and very doubtful of myself because I was in this position that I didn't really know how to get out of. Now, I don't really have many photos from this phase of my life because I was so insanely insecure in myself. And you can just see my eyes, my face. I'm clearly unhappy, not just with my physique, but also with my mindsets. My cheeks are all puffy and inflamed. I'm carrying a little bit of face fat. Again, I know you can't see my body, but take my word for it. It wasn't the best time of my life. And I would feel these things. In that example where I said that like maybe you're getting ready to go out with your friends, that was me. I was sharing a story of multiple times when I would get ready to go out with my friends. I would put off getting ready till the very last second because I hated how everything that it was in my closet fit. I was insecure in myself. Yes, because of the physique, but also because of all the goals that I knew that I wanted and I wasn't actively pursuing them because I doubted myself and I was scared I wasn't going to be able to do it. And also, I just didn't want to do hard things. Like I didn't want to have to really face my situation. So I just coped. And I coped with getting ridiculously drunk way too often, binge eating, smoking, distracting myself, binge watching TV. I would rot in bed instead of go to the gym. And I would just kind of like let the problems and the pain and the struggle just fucking fester. And I had this like attitude to me, like this lingering misery of like, oh my god, I hate this fucking situation. I don't want to do this shit. But I wasn't doing anything to get out of it. So it was like the audacity that I had to complain about this, to feel all these things, and to be so upset when I was quite literally perpetuating the problem. And it was a learning experience. I had to go through this to be able to learn this. That's just the reality of it. But something that I've done on my journey that has saved me so much fucking time is learning from others' mistakes. So that is why I am so vocal about my mistakes and the problems that I went through, the things that I was feeling, so that you guys can learn from my mistakes, make faster progress, so you don't have to go through this and try to figure it out essentially blind on your own. And so here's me slapping on the Band-Aid, pretty much just trying to numb the pain so I could get through the next day and then go get drunk again, because I didn't like my reality. I didn't like how the clothes fit. I didn't like how I was as a person. I didn't like how weak I felt and how weak-minded I felt. And then that led for this physique. I'm going to show you on the other side, using myself as an example again, on how you can actually apply the proper equation to then get the physique that you want. So let's remember, I'm suffering here, right? I hate my physique. I hate my life. I'm so upset with my mindset and with myself, and I'm so frustrated, and I just felt hopeless. I'm drinking to numb the pain. I'm smoking. I'm binge eating. I'm bed rotting. I'm just letting it get worse. I'm letting it fester. And so that leads for this result. So now this is the equation that we need to implement to be able to always get results and always be moving forward. Now, some days we're moving forward very slowly. Other days we are going super fast, right? Maybe some days you're giving 5%, other days you're giving 99. But so long as you are moving forward, you are making progress. And when you let those adversities that you face, those tough times, those breakups, that insecurity, those moments that feel like they're breaking you down, let you crumble, and then you start self-sabotaging and doing anything to numb the pain because you couldn't handle it, that's when you start to regress, and that's when you start to enter those cycles where maybe you are yo-yo dieting, or you start losing 5 pounds, and then you gain 5 pounds, and you lose 5 pounds, and you've been losing the same 5 to 10 pounds for the whole year. That's how you enter those cycles. And so in implementing this kind of equation, this will help you negate getting into those cycles and help you always make sure that you're moving forward. And the only thing that we're really changing is the action. Because life will always throw adversity. We will always be feeling some sort of struggle because we're a human being. Like we are alive. We will always be fighting ourselves to some degree. Now, like I said, I still face adversity. I might be telling you here, this is what you need to do, this is how you make faster progress, does not mean that I'm not a human being. That's not going to go away. Life will always be hard, and that is okay. Don't fool yourself in your head thinking that one day life is just going to be some magical fucking fairy tale and that's where you're trying to work towards. That's never going to be the case. And that's a reality check that I needed when I was younger. I was like, oh, just when I get this physique, I'll be fine and I can quit and I can stop and life will be easy. I actually, in that process, just learned that life won't be easy, but I became a strong enough person to make it okay. Like, I wasn't fearful for hard things. I wasn't fearful when I felt insecurity. I wasn't fearful when I faced an obstacle because I knew I could handle it. I had that confidence in myself. So when you feel these things here, the pain, the suffering, the things that make you want to run to coping, to food, to alcohol, to a distraction. So with this equation, when you feel these things here, when you are doubting yourself, when you feel insecure, when you are sitting here wondering if you can do it, when you feel overwhelmed, when you are contemplating if you are going to be able to make this work or not, the one thing that you should be doing with the actions, instead of self-sabotaging and trying to cope and cracking under pressure, is to actually use that reasoning to show yourself that you can. Oh, I'm doubting if I can actually do it. I'm going to get up and show myself. I don't know if I'm actually going to be able to dig myself out of this hole. I'm going to do something right now to show myself that I can. And something that has helped me do this is almost viewing myself in those moments as younger me. Because when I look at younger me and I look at the Megan that was struggling with binge eating, drinking, smoking, all those things, and the one that wanted to numb the pain and cope so bad with external validation, I look at her and I'm like, I will show you that I can. Because that's what she needed so badly, and she didn't know that. She didn't know any better, right? She thought that drinking and binge eating was making her feel better, right? Until I learned that that was actually causing more of my demise. And so instead of doing a self-sabotaging action, you need to replace it with things that make your mind and your body stronger. And in doing those things, you are quite literally showing yourself, hey, you're doubting yourself? I'm going to prove to you that you can do it. Boom, self-doubt gone. Hey, you're insecure and you don't believe in yourself and you don't trust yourself. Hey, I'm going to show you that you deserve to be confident because I'm going to show up even when I don't want to. That's how you build confidence. That's how you learn to trust yourself. And that is how you build the mindset that can handle absolutely any hardship that you go through. Because like I said about 1,000 times in this video, you aren't going to go through less hardship just because you solve these things. There will be more and a new one and another one, but you will get stronger so they won't be as big of a deal to you. And that's how you can consistently make progress when life is hard. And newsflash, life will always be hard. And these are all things that I wish that someone told to younger me. So when you feel this shit, show yourself that you can, right? I got into running. Running is something that I quite literally used to fucking hate. And I realized that at a young age. And to train my brain to be stronger, and on this channel, we train that anterior mid-cingulate cortex, the AMCC, so that you can build a strong mind, because if you have a weak mind, you won't make any progress on this journey. I use running for that, because it's something that I don't want to do, and I can use to prove to myself that I will do whatever is required, leading me to be confident in myself, leading me to not only have the body that I want, but the mind that I want also. Same thing with going to the gym, with progressing, with showing myself that I'm going to show up and I'm going to do what's best for me, even if I don't want to do what's best for me sometimes. And so replacing that instant gratification with things that are better for you in the long term, not just for your health, but also your mentality or your mental health, is going to be essential in helping you navigate the adversity of life. Now, what I'm telling you right now is easy to understand. You're like, oh, instead of self-sabotaging, go to the gym. Well, yeah, I feel like everyone says that. The implementation is hard. But if there's one thing you take from this video, your livelihood, your mindset, your body, your life depends on you making this decision, on you feeling something that shatters your heart, that puts a pit in your stomach, that makes you feel like you are knocked on your ass, and choosing to do this instead of self-sabotaging, and choosing to move forward. Because if you self-sabotage, if you crumble, if you crack under pressure, you will slowly fall and fall and fall and fall into a deeper and deeper hole that is only giving you more work to climb out of. And you'll start to feel lost, and that self-doubt and that insecurity and all those negative emotions will creep back in, and you won't know how to handle it because you let go, because you stopped pushing. Notice the only thing that we changed about this equation was the action, because this will always happen in life. You get the outcome that you want, right? Here in these photos, I'm still facing adversity. I still go through tough times. Here in these photos, I'm still going through adversity. I still face tough times. But because I changed the action part of the equation, I always get this outcome. I get to live the life that I want, not because life is perfect for me now, because it's sunshine and rainbows, not because I don't face problems, I don't feel insecurity, I don't feel adversity. All of a sudden things are easier for me. No. Because I follow that equation. Because when things get tough and when things fucking hurt me, I lead myself out of it. I lead myself through this hardship by showing myself that I can do it. By showing myself that when I doubt myself, I have no reason to, because I'll show the fuck up. That is all that I changed. You cannot control what life throws at you. You can only control how you react. When you control and change how you react, you get a different result. And that is everything that I have for you guys today. That is how you always make progress, even when life is getting fucking tough, even when everything is breaking you down. All you have to do is change how you react. That's how people consistently make progress. It's not that their life is easier, it's that they react differently than you do. If you have any questions about anything on this chart, I will link my Instagram in the description, and you can DM me there and I'll get back to you. I answer all of my DMs. If you want me to coach you through this so you can build your dream physique, but more importantly, build a strong mindset, I will leave the application to my coaching in the description of this video. If spots are available and you're a good fit, I will personally be reaching out to you. Do not forget, guys, you need to start right now to build momentum for 2026. Don't be that person that waits for January 1st. Don't be that person that waits for next week. The perfect time to start will always be the second that you decide you want to do something. I love you guys so much. Please don't forget to do hard shit, be confident, and have the courage to be uncomfortable. But most importantly, do not forget how much I'm rooting for y'all and how much I love you guys. I will see y'all in the next video. Thank you for watching.